Welcome back, friends. I threw another board style up. I know I had some comments in the past about the metal board, the black and white, and the contrast. I put up a stone board this time and chose some different pieces. So hopefully this isn't a terrible visual experience, but I do have I do like the black and white. I do. I'm gonna throw this up there. Put it in the comments if it is a terrible contrast setup again. But we're gonna play e4, and we get e5 in response. Opponent joined in 2017. Okay, so I used to play a little Vienna. I've dabbled in King's Gambit in Blitz. Kind of tempted to go King's Gambit, um, but the Scotch is my rock, and let's let's get our night out. I almost went King's Gambit. Maybe in a future video. Maybe sometime in the near future. The Scotch or just simply the Italian. Um, let's go Scotch. We're gonna go Scotch. Tried and true. Scotch Gambit. And he goes D6. Okay. And with D6 lines, I think it's best for me to just capture back immediately with either D6 or H6. I think it's best to just recapture the knight immediate or the pawn immediately and um, okay. He develops his knight towards the center, attacking my undefended pawn. So realistic options here are knight c3, defending the pawn. Also castling, I think, leaving the pawn hanging, because if takes, uh, rook e1, I think runs into some problems for white. He could defend it with either pawn, but I think I get to kick it eventually. Another candidate move here would be just pinning the knight. Seems like a reasonable idea as well. All three developing moves. So what to do? With the fourth candidate, I think maybe being just go ahead and taking the knight and damaging the pawn structure. So the pin gets met with h6. And if I drop back, g5, and I'm defending, I'm dropping back again, and the pawn is still hanging. So I think I can rule that one out, unless I take the knight, queen takes, and I've given up the bishop pair. My knight is double attacked. So I have to trade off, maybe. I don't have to. So I think I like castling. We're just going to castle. And he develops sensibly. So now we'll just continue development, get the other knight out. I'm assuming castling here. And this g4 square looks very prime for the bishop. And I only note that because I'm kind of thinking of f4 here, controlling the center, keeping the knight out of the e5 square. So if f4, I think f4 is the natural move. If f4, bishop g4, attacking the queen, I can drop the knight back, self-pinning to block the attack. I could lift the queen to keep the knight defended. That might invite this, which would lose my bishop. So maybe just queen to d2, allowing the bishop a backup. That blocks in my dark square bishop a bit. So give and take, give and take. The other idea would be just to drop the bishop back. I think f4 is the move. I'm going f4. Lots of ideas. And if he does attack the queen, I think I'm going to back up the knight and then kick the bishop, ask him what he's doing there. This move I usually meet with a4 because b5 is stopped. So I'll go ahead and do that. It also creates a little cubby hole for my bishop to drop back. Then I don't have to worry about giving up the light square bishop. And this move, I think I am going to offer up the knight. He can take the knight if he wants it. And that warrants a take, knight d4, attacking queen and c-pawn. So I will simply drop back to defend. No, I can't. That's also an attack square. So I could just back up and defend and simultaneously attack. That's probably what I do. Queen f2 might prompt a c5 push, but bishop e3 is in the air there. He also has the option of retreating his bishop to e6, and my knight's no longer here, keeping the bishop out of that square. So if he goes bishop e6, what's my response? Oh, he wants a cubby to go back. Does keep my knight out of the square as well. That's a brave idea, pushing those pawns. I think I'm tempted just to go bishop e3 immediately and develop a new piece. I think that is sensible. It's loose here, undefended, but so is my other bishop. I've got two loose pieces um, that I probably ought to take care of. Not an immediate attack on either piece. I mean, if the knight comes over to attack, I just back the bishop up. No worries there. So he does back the bishop up. All right. Um, Now, if I take, I allow him to strengthen his center, open his rook. That doesn't seem like a great option for white. Another candidate would be to defend the bishop with the queen. So if takes, takes. Does that run into any other problems? I mean, maybe a fork trick. Knight takes, and d5, forking two pieces. Then maybe rook d1, pinning the pawn to the queen. Queen side steps and resuming the fork. But then I can just take it because there's only one piece defending it. So no fork trick. The fork trick's not there. Yeah, I like it. If takes, takes. All right, that does attack the bishop. He wants the bishop pair. Do I let him have the bishop pair? What about bishop d4? If knight takes, knight takes, I'm attacking the bishop. And the knight. So bishop takes, queen takes. Maybe knight f5. Mm, I don't know what my knight's doing on f5, really. I guess no, because there's an immediate g6 attacking the knight, and h6 is defended by the knight. So 7 minutes 40 seconds. Opponent has 13:45. Do I back the bishop up? Just retreat it, then kick the knight. This knight still keeps the black knight out of d4. So that's an option. Another idea of knight here. Let's just save the bishop pair. Let's just save our bishop pair. And yeah. Oh, but what about d5 now? Because that opens the bishop to c5. The knight and the bishop coordinate on f2. So if d5, maybe knight takes. I suppose ultimately I could just sidestep and give up the rook for two minors. That's not the end of the world at all, actually, and probably in White's favor. In this very closed, cluttered position, I would rather have the two minor pieces than the rook. So maybe just boxing shadows there. If he gives me the pawn, I think I just take it. Because then I can fork the two minors over here. And yeah, he's got problems. Even with this check, I sidestep. And he's still got these two pieces forked. And if he wants to check, I'll give up the rook. And still got two pieces forked. So not an issue. I think now that the knight is off of uh, off the attack on the e pawn, maybe the knight jumping here is something I'm considering. Now he is threatening b2 though, if I do bring the knight off. But can he have it? Well, where's the knight go? If I kick the knight, does he have this check? Or I take, he takes, attacks the queen. I come up and attack the knight. He's got two pieces attacked and only one defend, only able to defend one of them. So that fails. If I attack the knight, does he take the knight? And I take back and he retreats the knight. So I get the bishop pair. I get my bishop pair. So there we go. Let's ask him what he wants to do with his knight. 5 minutes and 37 seconds. I'm going to have to pick up speed a little bit. I'm going to gain the bishop pair. So maybe thinking about liquidating to an endgame becomes more of an option. I want to get this other rook involved on either D or E. I'm not sure which yet. Oh, he attacks with the knight first. Move order is important. Move order is important. So hmm. If I drop back, I'm dropping this pawn. Come up, he takes with check. I take with the rook to keep my bishop defended. I think that's the move. He's got a hanging piece here and a double attacked piece. So I think the only way to keep material for him is to take the knight. And I take back. And he doesn't have time to issue his check. He's got to retreat the knight. So then he takes the bishop, I take the bishop, and he retreats the knight. He's on the back foot. I've got more space, and I'm prepared to stack rooks. So I like my position very much. Just under 5 minutes. Maybe he's got an intermezzo move of taking the light square bishop. I just take back. And all is well there. So he's still got the double attack threat and the hanging knight. So we just liquidate more pieces and yeah, okay. All right, he wins the pawn. Now is the question of two knights worth is are two knights worth the rook here? Or what about attacking the what about attacking the knight? What does he do there? The knight's under attack. If it retreats, it's double attacked. This piece is still hanging. So is he thinking about a check? That's still a double attack and a hanging piece. So where is he going? I attack the knight. Does he have an attack on the queen? Not really, no. Takes, takes, takes. Don't I just win a piece here? Oh, this square. Here we go. That's both knights on this square. I see. If I attack the knight and he goes knight here attacking the queen, I take, he takes. He's got a fork of queen and rook, but yeah, okay. So yeah, I lose the exchange in that variation because it's knight here or here, and bishop takes, knight takes, it's knight for bishop, and then I lose a rook or a knight. So that's down the exchange. Other option is take the knight and get two knights for the rook. That's my option, which I think is a pretty good one for white, honestly. I think I do okay there. My rook's a little out of place. I lose a tempo bringing the rook back, but oh, two pawns. Okay. So a rook and a pawn for two knights. Technically, materially equal, but dynamically, my pieces, I think, have a little more activity behind all these pawns. I'll be looking at jumping the knight in here as soon as I can. Um, Trying to get this bishop trapped if I can. Keeping the knight out. Let's let's get our bishop on this square. 2 minutes 50 seconds. So, materially imbalanced. I love unbalanced material positions where we have like different pieces at play here. I'm working with two knights versus a rook. Rook and a pawn. Um, the bishop's offset. They are of the same color. So presumably those have high likelihood of getting traded off. Let's get our rook opposing the queen. Any tricks here? The pawn, the bishop's loose, so the pawn is pinned. If the pawn advances, I am attacking the queen, so that's the pawn is also pinned. Um, I would probably look at if he pushed the pawn, attacking my queen, just retreating to b3, attacking the b pawn. Still leaves my bishop loose. So this is a complicated position. I very much like my pawn wall here. Okay. He attacks a pawn and hangs a pawn. I don't see a way I defend that pawn unless I advance it and attack the bishop. So if I do that and he goes bishop takes knight, queen takes, rook takes, pawn takes. Maybe there's something there. Let's advance. 2 minutes, 13 seconds versus 7 minutes, 10 seconds. He has a passive option of retreating the bishop to defend the pawn, but that is passive, and I'm going to take over here and expose his king a little bit. I'd love to get a knight up here to attack the f7 square in coordination with the queen. That would be a dream position. But bishop takes knight, queen takes, rook takes, pawn takes. If pawn takes here first, then knight takes. Okay. So pawn took first. Now what about see, pawn takes threatens the queen or threatens the bishop, and I get left with a bishop takes, queen takes, rook takes, rook takes on d4. But if knight takes, I'm threatening here. So bishop takes here, pawn takes. I think that's the move. Queen coming in here could eye up there, but the knight keeps it defended. So queen here attacking the pawn twice, as well as eyeing the G pawns. Then I have a rook here, don't I? Rook here. Oh, what's the move? Do I retreat the queen to keep the white queen out of here? I do want to swing over here and attack on the king side. Queen e2, pawn takes. Oh, under a minute. Not a whole lot of time. I gotta move. So my analysis is going to be brief. Do feel like I'm doing very well here. This is a nice position for me. think I want my bishop here and queen coming in here. This passer might be an issue. But I think I'm looking at queen h5 and rook f1. I'm not sure in what order yet. Ooh, okay. About queen h5 anyway. Pawn takes. Nothing. What about sacking the pawn here? King takes. Queen here. Nope. All right. I think I just have to admit that I got to move the bishop back, and then I have this square for the knight. So that's an option. 32 seconds. Quick moves. Got to go with quick moves. Maybe I showed my cards too much there. Maybe this move. Um, maybe I wanted to preserve the right to go over here. That's what time pressure will do for you. Queen and rook. Expecting maybe queen here to just drive my queen away. And I bring my queen back somewhere. I'm definitely on my heels now. This queen move over here is a bit rushed. I should not have just launched in there with the queen immediately. Okay. Let's just draw back one. Yeah, just one with the queen. Eye up this square. Maybe bring the rook up. You can never just walk the king up because I've got a supported check. So, oh, what's my plan? What's my plan? Well, let's get the rook up here. And I think at the very least I can get a perpetual, maybe. But I would love to have more than that. I would love to get the knight involved somehow. Not sure how, though. 46 seconds. Got 10 seconds per move. All right, queen down here. Oh, do I get the knight here? Can I put the knight in here? I'm giving up a check and hanging the bishop, so no. So let's get our queen up and see if we can't get some sort of blind perpetual repetition just in case. There's rook here. Okay, well then. That's a thing. 25 seconds. 25 seconds. I might be toast here. Oh, that's what check. That's what check. No, 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 no. Good game, friend. But that's the end for me. I succumbed to time pressure. It's a very nice game, though, until the end. 74% accuracy on my part, played like a 1700. Not my finest performance, but that's okay. I definitely lost it in the end there. I had the edge all the way until I did not. And we're going to go all the way back. All the way back. First move. If chess.com will cooperate. I played two blunders in a row. So hard to win a game playing blunders back to back. We're in book here. All the way to here. 7, 8. Okay, I didn't like this push. I don't mind it. I think it's a reasonable move. It wanted me to put the bishop there, developing a new piece. Good, good, good. Queen move's questionable. I should have just taken the bishop and allowed him to bring a pawn towards the center. I don't like that idea. Maybe the computer, like obviously the computer thinks it's the best idea, but I don't like that idea. That's a miss. He should have taken the pawn and gone for the fork trick, although I thought the fork trick was worked out on my part. Maybe I'm missing something there, obviously. Kicking. I should have again taken the light square bishop. Okay. Best moves. That was a mistake. I have a 2-pawn advantage here. And I found the best move. Okay, I'm 2 knights with a rook, and I'm winning. I'm just absolutely winning. Here it wanted me to lock the pawn structure down. Okay. This was a mistake. Bringing the rook over, and we have a relatively equal game, but black missed the opportunity. The bishop move. Doesn't like the bishop move. I should have gone queen in immediately. But what's my follow-up after that? My knight, I guess my knight can maneuver where the queen is. So my knight has a little bit of life there, and I just brought the bishop right back. So of course that was silly. I should have brought my knight in now. Like bringing the king. Oh, bringing the king up. Oh, opening up the H file for some nastiness. That would have been nice to see. I have an excellent game here, and I'm winning. But with under a minute, I let time pressure get the best of me. So what can you do? You can improve on your calculation. It's really all you can do. And this was a blunder. Okay, give up an advantage for equality. And I should have brought the rook back. It's a hard move to see. Definite blunder. That just loses on the spot. Blunder, blunder, and game over. Well, got some time management to work on. If I missed anything, please comment. Let me know. Let me know what you thought of the different board, and I'll see you next time.